Welcome back to the Daily Crypto Market Update. I just wanted to give you a heads up. We have a channel here on our Discord server for the Better Traders Club called Coin Delistings. And there's been a lot of delistings happening recently with a lot of BTC paired trades. But I want you to pay attention to this list over here. I forget, yeah, it's all inverted when I do this filming. But KuCoin itself has been known for being a treasure trove of gems. But I'm seeing so many things delisted, not just their KCS market, which is an alternative market like BNB for Binance. All of their up-down tokens are being delisted one by one. On Poloniex, look at all of this crap that's being delisted. Notice a lot of these? These are all of these lame, Fish, Capo, Flappy, Magasol, all this garbage that was listed about a year and a half ago, all these meme coin, lame POS coins. And then look at KuCoin, IGU, Analos, Sui, PYTH. Like some of these are actually good for trading because they're so low volume that they're basically just garbage, but they're great for trading. Pay attention because there's a lot of stuff being delisted right now all the time. And we're seeing way more BTC pairs being delisted on many exchanges, which is really unfortunate because that's one of the best ways, in my opinion, that you can grow an account to grow BTC, because a lot of people struggle just buying and trading in these little ranges, but you can use bots to accumulate. Again, we have free signals. The TBT signals that are available through AllTradey are great because, this one just got messed up. Because they're free, you can use the signals to accumulate Bitcoin or whatever you want. So anyway, BTC closed marginally up, but it's still trapped inside the daily TBO cloud. You know that this spells out bearish consolidation, which just means chop, 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 but eventually chop goes down. And we have the slow line right here at $95,000. We still have support here at 96. I don't expect us to fall lower, but one thing that is pretty obvious is that we do have overhead resistance right here. And we didn't get a pump on Monday up to this level, but we have already gotten 1-2 pierces of support. This is super short term, just so you know, but the chances of BTC breaking to the downside are astronomically greater than all of a sudden miraculously pumping up above resistance and just going up. There's nothing on the horizon, no news to really talk about that should get people excited. The only good bit of news I can really see is that Donald Trump posted, about 8 hours ago, exactly. Crazy. We now have complete and total control over the skies of Iran. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment and plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to American-made conceived and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the good old USA, sure. So it's interesting because they also said we're not going to get involved yet. Here they are getting involved, but I would love to see Iran and Israel just kiss and make up. We know that will never happen. They've been fighting for thousands of years, so it's not really going to stop. There's not really going to be peace in the Middle East. And when it does, just understand that that will be a telltale sign in itself that the end of the world is literally coming. Mark my words. Coin Bureau also let us know that the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, says the economy is in a solid position. They're not going to be switching to quantitative easing anytime soon, nor will the Bank of Japan, in my opinion. So again, real big nothing burgers there. So the price is just chopping for BTC. Volume is underperforming the moving average. Unfortunately, you can see the moving average going down. So nothing really to be surprised about. The one positive thing that's happening, even though volume is bad, on balance volume is still above the moving average, and it's starting to tick up higher. Tick up as in starting to slope up higher, but it's like the smallest little itty bitty amount. It's not really enough. RSI is literally smack dab in the middle, so there's no strength at all. On the 4-hour, there are no signs of strength here. Again, this is the worst possible thing that could happen, is getting all of these drops below this resistance level. It's not a good sign at all. Ethereum also following Bitcoin's price action, no duh. And it did close up a little bit yesterday. It's up now. We saw the same thing happen yesterday too, where it started looking really good and then it fell. And it's obvious too that the slow line continues to rage down. It's not just pointing, it is literally going, So the macro trend here for Ethereum is down. Volume did not exceed the moving average. On balance volume looks way more bearish compared to BTC. Huge difference. Others dominance printed a second TBO breakdown yesterday. This is this is the third one. There's the first one back here on the 30th of May. We have two more. You know, this I'll say that it could be marking the bottom because we sometimes have seen TBO breakdowns mark a bottom and then the market absolutely reverses from there. Seen it there. I'm trying to find another example where we don't see it continue to dump, which is the expected outcome, usually what happens. Nope. Nope. So we got lots of examples saying, buckle up, buttercup, because it looks like we're going to be seeing others' dominance plummet. And unfortunately, others itself is looking really weak. I mentioned that it had this line, quote unquote, of support. And I said it's mega short term. Don't quote me on this. And it already got pierced yesterday. Seeing a lower low right here is not good because essentially what we're seeing is we got a high, a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we should be going up, but we're going to be putting in a lower high, even if it moves up. And people are going to get euphoric too fast. They're going to get overexposed in their positions, and they're going to get smacked if we have a reversal. Now, we are heading into summer. July, August are typically bearish months for crypto, even in a bull market. So I don't really expect things to reverse wildly. We don't have quantitative easing from the Bank of Japan, from the FOMC meeting in the United States. Nothing's really changing. Just keep in mind as well that others are still massively bearish compared to BTC. There's just nothing really saying, oh, this is a great time to use our Bitcoin to buy alts. And I guess it's helpful to see a lot of these delisting notices like I showed you before on Discord. So that way it's, less people will get wrecked. Because let's be honest, one BTC, I don't know if you even know this chart, probably not. This thing is just a nightmare. It's literally nightmare fuel. Yes, it has these glorious moments where it moves up 200%. But what's the overall sentiment of this chart long term? Long term. It's bad. I mean, yes, we'll get these moments where it's incredible, going up 6,000%. And from January 2022 till now, it's down 98.97%. Just cool your jets, guys. It's actually a good reason why it's happening, in my opinion. Now, BVOL 7D moved up and out of our bounce zone yesterday, which is a positive sign. I want to see this continue, ideally with bullish volatility, but there's no guarantee that it's going to be bullish. Now, the honest to God truth right now is I'm using DCA strategy, which I teach in 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom. This is the way I'm trading this market right now because there's no real strong trend. We know from the slow line from Ethereum, it's down. We know for Bitcoin, it's flat. So I'm just going to be buying the dip, selling the bounce, buying the dip, selling the bounce. That's one of the best ways to trade the market right now. And I teach you how to do this. Plus, we have bots like the free TBD signals, like I talked about before, that do this automatically. So you can use it to come alongside your trading strategy. And of course, when you sign up, you get a free month of the Better Traders Club. And the trader tier, which you get access to, includes watch lists. It includes the TBO indicator. It includes trade setups. It includes alerts, notifications, other signals that you can use. So it's a great deal. Let's keep pushing forward and talk about these other picks that I have for today. Now, I want to start off with bullish stuff because it's much more happy. It's more fun to talk about bullish stuff than it is bearish stuff. We have conflicting signals yet again with SEI. Breakdowns 3 in a row. Actually, 3 in a row TBO breakdowns with the slow line pointing down on the 4-hour. But we have a close short here with a nice reversal of 6.8%, which is positive for SEI. The biggest sign, though, is volume. Volume on Tuesday's candle was about 3.5 times the average, which I shared yesterday, I believe. Yesterday, it was just under 2 times. That's a positive sign. It's a great sign that this should be a bottom or at least a reversal back up to the fast line, which is literally just a couple of percent away, just 4%. I really think that there's stronger support right here at about 14 cents, but this is a good sign. Onyx coin on the 4-hour time frame printed a TBO Close short on Tuesday in the early hours, and it just finished a second one. Plus, we have these TBT divergences. Just so you know, TBT divergence will always print before we get our orange TBO Close shorts. Just like we saw back over here before, a nice little reversal, almost the same thing kind of happening right now. I doubt Onyx coin is going to shoot up that high, but it is a nice reversal sign. Let's keep going. Ton coin, actually on the 4-hour, printed a TBT divergence signal, a bullish one, just like back over here. Even though the price went against us, eventually we saw it shoot up. I still think that Ton coin has the propensity to go higher. There's just a lack of volume, but for some reason, I just can't let go of this chart for some weird reason. I don't have any exposure to it, but I'm just watching it going, I've seen this happen so many times before, and it's going to surprise a lot of people. Maker wicked into the daily TBO fast line yesterday, providing a great springboard bounce entry. It's currently only up about 3%. I would look for another bounce up about 9%, not anywhere near the 0.618 fib level. If you're doing something like this, I never ever aim for the tip top or for these significant levels. I would aim for just below where things were. So like a 9% win is a great trade. Jito had a really good close outside, or rather above, the daily TBO cloud yesterday, up 5, almost 6%, which is amazing, especially all the volatility that we've been seeing. And look right here, pull back to the daily TBO fast line, and then we got our TBO Springboard Bounce of 20%. That's amazing. So the fact that it closed above the cloud is great. Volume is good. It's outperforming. It's not like doubling the amount. But the most important thing that's happening is that it is pushing towards the top side of the daily cloud, which is great. And the slow line is slowly starting to slow down and move up. Now, the weekly is still a little bit not so great. We are seeing a bullish cross above the moving average here for on-balance volume, but this is still going to take weeks for this white line to curl up. KATA had a surprise move. I've been talking about this a lot. I've been saying once we get a pullback like this, it's not unusual to see it pop back up. Literally what happened yesterday with a 12% move, and it's continuing to go up higher. Because usually what happens when these big moves happen, especially with volume, is volume will go crazy, and then it dies down and people kind of forget that it moved, and then all of a sudden, pop. So yesterday's volume was just shy of 2 times the average. On-balance volume continues to point up aggressively. This is a great chart. And there's a reason why I said I'm not selling. There's no reason to. Now, the real test, in my opinion, is what is it going to do when it gets up to these local highs? So the last time it got up to these local highs, right up here, let me zoom in so we can just see it real well. So we have 1802, and right here is 1802. So it really needs to break above that level. And it's also hitting 4-hour TBO resistance. I'm not saying that it's going to stop here, but this is a logical place to see a little bit of a pullback. But this is great momentum. Plus, volume has been looking a little bit better. It's still trending lower, but seeing volume outperform the moving average on a pump like this is a positive sign. Now, you might be wondering, okay, what's up with this bar that you have up here? What is this? Well, I actually made a video on the Coin Bureau trading channel earlier this week, I think. I can't even remember because they're all starting to blur together. But this is a logical place that there should be resistance for Jito, and as well as the 618. But right here, this is where I'm expecting things to kind of have a pullback. And if you're wondering, yes, we do have a long position still open for this coin. Right now, we're still sitting in profit from the Better Traders Club trade setup I shared, about 56%. I am waiting for basically 20 cents. It's a little bit aggressive. I really wish I could change that, but what's done is done. Let's keep going. Telcoin had a really nice pop yesterday, up 11%, but more importantly, it printed a TBT bullish divergence cluster. For all of you that are new, hey, welcome. The TBT divergence is a pro tier Better Traders Club indicator, and the cluster just emphasizes when we have a lot of these triangles happening in a small amount of time, and it changes the shape so that way we can identify it more clearly as like a, hey, pay attention to this. So this is actually a great sign, especially because it's happening on historical TBO support here at about 0.0038. So it's something to definitely watch, and volume has been really good for Telcoin. Not as great as it was before, not anywhere near, but humble beginnings, right? Humble beginnings start a really nice rally. AERO, again, what I talked about yesterday. Look at that. Good for you. We're looking at yesterday's volume exceeding the moving average by 3, closing up 19% over. This is the best part right here. It closed above TBO resistance and the 0.5 fib level, and today it's in process of printing a breakout. Yes, the breakout is obviously super late, but we've been tracking this ever since it had this close short back here on Tuesday, June 10th. This is where we enter on the fast line after seeing one of these orange dots. We don't buy on the breakout or this reversal. We buy on the pullback to the fast line. So right now, AERO is up 60% using the TBO, and we have a breakout. Volume is looking great. I think this thing's going to continue to rip. Yes, we also had TBO breakouts on the 4-hour, even though we dipped down at the fast line. It's still looking amazing. Charts like this, by the way, that are still relatively oversold, we're going to see them rip higher. They're going to go higher than most people think. And it's a little bit late to jump into something like this. I would much rather wait for another pullback. But again, DCA is also a great strategy. So if you want to trade a chart like this that's pumping, one way to approach it is to use a DCA strategy, meaning that you would enter some here, but then you would have another safety trade down here, or like another DCA order way down just in case. So we're using percentages. So if I want to take profit just below my 618 at like 12%, then I'm going to put in like 1/3 of my size here at the current price. Then I'm going to save 2/3 of my total reserved amount. So if I have $300, $100 going in here to enter, then the other $200 is waiting right here just in case we get a pullback, buy the dip, and then that averages down my entry. So that way, when I sell at the top, I'm making more profit. It's a great strategy, works a lot. And speaking of pullbacks, yesterday's video was literally titled SPX. Like, this is our pullback. This is our re-entry right here. And SPX is looking great. Looks like I took profit on my position. I actually sold some. I had an entry right about here. I didn't catch the Pico bottom, but I entered at about 134. And I wanted to sell some right below the TBO resistance level at 1.5, which is great. So I just made a nice little 100% trade with 10x leverage, which is a nice trade. Nice. I do expect SPX to continue moving up higher, but because it pierced right here yesterday, the fast line, I'm expecting this to actually chop a little bit more. We'll see what happens, but it's really not a strong looking chart for now. This first pullback is the deepest one that we've seen because we haven't seen a real pullback to the TBO fast line since the 17th of May. Of course, we know what happened after that, but this is after a period where it was already chopping a lot. And again, we don't have strong bullish confirmation from the slow line. If anything, it's starting to point down again. So I think it makes more sense to see it continue to oscillate sideways or consolidate sideways before moving up higher. But I do believe that it can move up higher. Now for the bearish news, unfortunately, Quantum closed a TBO Close long on Tuesday. I let you guys know about that, but it also printed TBO Breakdowns. Now, it could still pop to the upside, and we do expect it. This is the expected behavior when we see one of these blue diamonds, is for the price to pump back up to the TBO fast line, which is currently at $107, which would be a move of about 5%. But this isn't good. Look at the slow line moving down. It's not really looking great. On the 4-hour, seeing these, it's not a sign of encouragement and comfort either. Hype still has this TBT bearish divergence cluster, which is the opposite of the bullish one like we saw here for TEL. So this is letting us know, eek, be careful. And we're also seeing this weakness in volume, in chop here for on-balance volume. We're also seeing it in RSI. It's not looking as strong as it did before. However, the price is still above the daily TBO cloud, and it's hard to ignore that. But we are seeing signs of weakness on the chart that's already ripped. But my personal expectation for the chart is maybe dip a little bit again, and it's going to chop before it goes up higher. It's just a chart that has so much demand. It has use case. So I don't think it's going to necessarily dump. PYTH has a TBO breakdown, almost a perfect cluster on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour also has breakdowns as well. Be really cautious and careful about this chart because it lost a significant support level. If we zoom out, it's whenever we see these breakdowns right here near support, that's a bad sign that we could see things dump a lot farther. Just be careful. Grass. This one is also printing some bearish signs on the 4-hour. Almost a perfect breakdown cluster. The slow line is pointing down on the daily. The price is well below the cloud. It would make more sense to see it pump up, 20% or so to the fast line, but we already got our bearish warnings way back over here with the TBO Close longs. So a couple weeks ago, actually at the beginning of the month, where I said, guys, watch out, we got these TBO Close longs, these blue diamonds. These let us know that the bullish uptrend could be reversing soon, so be careful. And here we are, down 27%. Again, it might be worth getting access to the TBO and learning how to use this to identify the strength of the trend and all the stuff that I'm sharing with you. Anyone can do this stuff. H bar, this one has fallen down here, and these are all red because these are all worth watching. H bar has fallen down here to the 0.5 fib level, almost to TBO support, which is just below it. RSI is massively oversold at 21, or not massively, it's just oversold. On the 4-hour, we have conflicting signals, which is why this is here. TVT bullish divergence signals with breakdowns. Which one is going to win? Well, this is when we look at the slow line. If the slow line right here, the slowest moving average that comprises the TBO cloud is moving down, and we have breakdowns, going with the trend, 100%. So it looks more likely for H bar to break support. It could still whip back up, but even on the daily, it's trending bearish. SUI, this one unfortunately lost support. I talked about this saying, guys, be careful anytime we see a chart like this have support right here, and it goes below, and it goes below again. That means that we're probably going to see a break again. And yesterday, it actually dipped a whole lot more. From this level, it actually dipped and fell another 5%. It's not a really strong looking chart. It should, that was a weird sound. It should go back up to the fast line, which is a 10% move, but it's still really, really weak looking. I don't really want to touch it right now, to be honest. IMX is nearing TBO support down here at 0.391. Yesterday's low was 0.394. This is a very risky trade, just so you know. This is the first time it's come back down to this level. That's basically the same, 0.392 on the weekly, 0.391 on the daily. There should be a double bottom bounce for IMX, but it will not be anywhere near as high as the first one. I would even look for like half of that, even like less, like 42% to like 54 cents, but it's very risky. HEX had some very weird volatility yesterday with a little mini pump up 17% on Tuesday. And then yesterday, a fat finger dump down 12%. And look at the volume here too. Really odd price action for HEX. I don't know what's happening with that, but the chart's bearish, unfortunately. So if you want access to the TBO indicator, you want access to actionable insights that I provide 5 days a week on the Better Traders Club with a lot more information, join the Better Traders Club. And again, if you're just brand new to crypto, check out our course here at Mastering Assets that we launched in partnership with Kitco Media called the Complete Cryptocurrency Investor. This is more of a beginner-focused course that is focusing on investing techniques for like the long term, not short-term trades that I talk about a lot. This is more for like people that are interested in crypto, but they don't want to get into the weeds of trading and bots. This is the course for you. And again, I strongly encourage you to watch the video. It's going to pop up right here that talks about these two blue dots, the TBO close longs on the weekly, which is the first part, the first ingredient of the TBO bear formula. I'm wincing because I don't want to see this bull market end, but this is the beginning signals of the bear market. So we have to be paying attention to this. So watch this video, and until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.